Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise and Nile TV, and from a very special place here in Cairo, from the St. Mark's Cathedral at Abbasiyah, we bring you this exclusive episode of Nile Cruise. Dear viewers, Egypt's historical religious sites, which includes Mount Sinai, along with thousands of churches and mosques, has attracted followers of the world's three faiths of the millennia. Religious tourism is one of the most robust niches of tourism market. This kind of special travel hardly suffers any losses from regional instabilities, because once these tourists have decided to come, they don't change their minds, even if some minor incidents take place. Religious tourism is an unexploited niche that, given the right circumstances, could yield a more significant portion of the country's tourism revenue. And in this context, dear viewers, we're honored to host Mr. Salib Mikhail, a tourism expert, to highlight this kind of tourism, its importance, and efforts exerted by the government and the Ministry of Tourism to support religious tourism. Very good day, sir, and
Me
it's a
too.
pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have you with
Thank
us in this very special episode. Sir, what are Egypt's chances to occupy a leading position in religious tourism, which we are working on nowadays in Egypt very hardly?
Actually, I gotta say that Egypt still be one of the luckiest countries in the region. Um, we're lucky with the varieties of cultures and religions we got, ancient sites, and all what we need to do is just to do some more efforts, and that's running already or started already by our Ministry of Tourism and Cultures, and we expect more about making more propaganda and trying to give good offers also for tourists who are doing kind of repetitive type of tours, not first time a tour. And that's going to be the thing going to add or increase the number of tourists coming annually to Egypt. First of all, I got to tell you that Egypt is lucky also about having the varieties of tours. We are having the culture tours, religious tours, that's our target now, because lots of tourists who came to Egypt before, mainly they were here for the culture type of tour, going to Luxor, Aswan, ancient pharaonic sites. But talking about the religious type of tours, that's the target for all Egyptian people working in this field now. Talking about the Islamic and Christian and Jewish culture and religious places. Lots of people in the world now, they started to ask more about visiting those sites. And one of those big tours we are expecting to run within the next few years is going to be the Holy Family Tour. Plus also we are adding for that the surroundings. When I say surroundings of the religious tour, I mean what's related to that. And when I say what's related to that, I'm talking about other cultures and religious sites related to the Holy Family sites too, because not just all Christian, it's mixture.
So, sir, you're
usually.
planning actually on making a sightseeing tour for the tourists coming from abroad, especially for the Holy Families tour in Egypt.
Yes.
You
yes.
are. Did you
Yes.
start on this project? Because it's a
Yes,
very
yes, we're
important
working
project
hard.
from
We're
my own
working hard on it
perspective.
because actually it's not an easy tour. If you follow the trip of the Holy Family, they cross the borders from Palestine through Farma, northeast of Arish and Sinai, passing by all the north part all the way to Cairo, to Old Cairo. And Old Cairo area, that's the spot where we got lots and lots of places related to the stop of the Holy Family. You know, the Holy Family spent almost 3 years and 4 months in Egypt in total. Everywhere they stopped, Christians later, they built whether a church or a monastery or any memorial building related to the visit to the Holy Family from Cairo all the way to Asyut. You're talking about a distance of hitting 900
Well, we can
kilometers.
start port by port and piece by piece, and it's gonna go on, and we're gonna make it.
Yes,
And
we will.
what are the main obstacles that are meeting you or facing you in this context, sir? For example, you're saying Palestine, you're saying Pharma, in light of the certain circumstances, of course, Palestine is an obstacle.
Yes, yes. To be honest with you, the political situation is important, and Egypt again is lucky. We're stable, We are having peace compared to the neighborhood countries around us. So my point of view, I think it's all about the mean of running the tour. Are we going to run it by regular transportation, by buses or by flights or by sea? So in case if there are some troubles on borders, possible to use flights and possible to use the sea in some times and some areas. If it's not, we've got to find some way else, to run it. But anyways, we are lucky because we'll still be focused all the time. We are welcoming people, and I mean that word. I face that personally in my tours when I'm dealing with different nationalities. What's special about Egyptians? Friendship. They create friendship with Egyptians. It's real friendship, not just like a visitor, hi, bye, and that's it. No, they're looking for more.
When are you planning on starting this very important project, sir?
Actually, it started already about 3 years ago. The plan for the tours. Yes.
And we're not yet in action?
Not yet, because as I told you, we need to have enough facilities for the tourists coming before they arrive. And it's lots of facilities concerning the field of police security, concerning accommodation to build more hotels at those sites surrounding the religious places. It's not a must to be 5-star hotels, but sometimes you find 3 and 4-star hotels better and look cleaner sometimes than 5-star hotels. And that's, I think, going to be a good target for us if you're going to deal well with running these tours of religious tours. Because the category also of tourists coming through this type of tour, they're not going to be like the type of tours going for the high class or the elite type of tours. They go for middle class of tours because they got to spend more time than what's usual. Religious tours need at least a week, maybe couple weeks to spend in Egypt. You're talking about more than 36 ancient sites got to be included. So if you're taking just 2 sites a day, not more, you took of at least a couple weeks, maybe more, to spend in Egypt to cover all these sites.
From your own perspective, sir, what are the places tourists are aiming to visit in religious tourism?
That's a good question. To be honest with you, first of all, that's related to how long time tourists going to spend in Egypt. Most of the tourists they're coming just during their annual vacations or regular holidays, so it's limited time. So we need to be that smart about organizing some kind of tours, focusing on the most important religious sites to visit. In my point of view, our main airport in Egypt is Cairo Airport, so that means lots of tours going to be targeting straight first at Cairo Airport and Cairo City in general. So talking about religious sites related to the Holy Family trip, for example, or religious trip, you're talking about Old Cairo. Old Cairo, we got the Hanging Church, we got St. Sergius, where we got the crypt of the Holy Family. We have varieties, to see there, and it's one spot, one area, so they can spend a day or maximum couple of days there to see that area. I do recommend, of course, city of Elminia and Sohag. They got some old ministers related to visit of the Holy Family. Same thing with Asyut. So these are like the 3 main cities I think they can be the target for religious tours. If I'm gonna talk about Christian, because later we got to talk also about Islamic and Jewish type of tours coming to Egypt. We've got to make use of all of that as type of cultures we have already in our country.
Christian pilgrims who usually visit Egypt as part of a wider Holy Land tour of Israel, Jordan, and Palestinian territories. How far have the regional instabilities affected this kind of tour, and what are your suggestions to promote it?
Well, of course, that affected a bit these type of tours between Egypt, Jordan, and Israel.
So complicated.
Yes, so complicated. But the good thing we always say in Egypt, tourism never dies. Get sick, but sooner or later keeps on. So it's just a matter of time. That's number one. Number two, Egyptians are very smart. If there are problems with...
It keeps on and it picks up.
And picks up, yes. Sooner or later, it's just a matter of time. I think personally that the 3 countries are making good benefits out of these type of tours. So the 3 of them, I think, going to work hard together to overcome such problems to get it back again. Because it's a big source of income for the 3 countries.
Hopefully, sir. Egypt's main, I think, source of stability and security is tourism.
Yes. Yes.
Egypt aims to incorporate the trip to Egypt by the Holy Family into the global religious tourism map. How far would this decision help increase the flow of pilgrims?
Well, expected within the next few years, maximum couple years, because one of the good things been running within the last couple years also that they were kind of dealing between the Vatican and the Egyptian cathedral and the Pope of Egypt, how to link this type of tour between Catholics and Orthodox Christians all over the world. And the good thing also that they're opening the gates now, you know, to discuss some stuff, you know, used to be like routine or bureaucratic things stopping such kind of tour running in Egypt. Again, I do repeat that peace in Egypt is the main key for that.
Okay, sir. Meanwhile, Egypt's Islamic sites attract not only Muslim tourists, but also non-Muslims. Why, in your opinion, non-Muslims are attracted to these sites?
Wow, this is amazing question for me because for a long time I used to face that in my tours with my tourists. Some of them, they come and they expect just one thing in their mind before they come, and later they find the variety of cultures we got. And I never forget that in one of the churches I visited, some of the groups I met, and I was guiding them, and I was telling them this type of decoration is a mixture of Islamic and Christian decoration. I said, Islamic in a Christian site? I said, yes, because in Egypt you find that everywhere, the mixture of cultures and religions. And not just ancient times, even in the modern times. So I think personally that in the next few years coming also, Islamic type of tours coming to Egypt from Western world can increase more, to know more about Islam, to know more about Islamic culture and its backgrounds. And they always look at it not just as religion, as also culture mixed with the religion that way to enrich their values about cultures and religions in the world.
Perfect, sir. Cairo, the city of the thousand minarets, would you shed more light on the most significant mosques in Cairo?
I wish to say all, but of course, if I talk about tourism, mainly we are focusing on ancient historical sites, and the most famous ones, of course, we got to talk about Al-Azhar Mosque, which is almost 1,000 years old. It's religious culture place for Muslims and non-Muslims all over the world. Got special value in the history of Egypt as part of our ancient history. Plus, talking of course about some other mosques, Sultan Hassan, Rifai, Amr ibn al-As, plus also of course the Alabaster Mosque of Muhammad Ali, which is showing again what I used to say all the time about the mixture of cultures, you know, a mixture of Egyptian, Turkish, influence, you know, all mixed together, which is amazing. So these are like some of the very important mosques worth seeing all the time.
Okay, so anyone that has spent Ramadan in Egypt knows that it has a unique taste. What are the most attractive places tourists should visit during Ramadan?
Well, they can't miss Khan al-Khalili, to be honest with you, for the evening and nighttime atmosphere. To see the real traditions of Egyptians about Ramadan, how they're taking their iftar after the sunset time, and how they spend the rest of the time for entertainment and watching all the type of Islamic culture influences in that area. Khan al-Khalili is one of those places, to be honest with you.
So you, from your own perspective, Khan al-Khalili, boosting tourism has turned out to be one of the essential goals of the government. Would you please highlight to us the latest cooperation between ministries to achieve this target?
Yes. I'm so glad that within the last 5 years, it's clear for us how the ministries working together to develop and promote tourism and increase the income of tourism, especially the link between the Ministry of Archaeology and the Ministry of Tourism Affairs and Financial Affairs within the last few years. That was presented in many things. For example, that great parade was done for opening the Civilization Museum.
Yeah.
Believe me, up till now,
Dynamic,
tourists
huh?
coming, yes, up to now, they talk about it. from everywhere, from States, from England,
The National
France.
Museum of
National
Egyptian
Museum,
Civilization.
amazing gem. We're waiting to open the Grand
from there.
Museum. We expect all these things, they're example how the ministries work together to reflect for us how they work hard to make tourism a big jewel, as I call it.
Okay, sir, how can we attract new markets and new gates for the markets we're already dealing with?
Well, that's a good question. First of all, because economical situation all over the world is not that good so far. So the competition got to start with the price of the packages of the tour. So we got to offer good packages with good prices. That's number one. Number two, to offer more varieties of the tours. We got here to encourage tourists to spend more time than what's usual. And number three, to offer them the best friendship of Egyptian people that they can see anywhere in the streets, in the hotels, transportation, everything.
Egypt is listed as one of the top destinations in 2021. How do you view this?
That was amazing. We were picked to be one of the best 10 countries.
And today?
Yes, 2021, 2022. Can you
And
imagine?
what happened in 2023?
2023.
Of course, the Gaza.
Yeah, because of the Gaza problem.
And
but
the
before,
Russia,
just
Ukraine.
before the Gaza case,
Yeah, there was the
yes,
Russia-Ukraine
believe me,
war
we were
as well.
expecting one of the best years on the field of tourism ever.
Unfortunately.
Better than 2010. I mean the word. As income and as number of tourists. But it happens. Political situations affect sometimes. So far, up to now, Egypt still be considered one of the best 10 regions.
But I think we're picking up now.
We're picking up. It's, as I told you, it's just a matter of short time.
Okay, of course, with you, it never ends, and it's a very interesting, really informative knowledge, sir. Mr. Salib Mikhail, thank you very much, a tourism expert. Thank you very much for highlighting so much informative knowledge about tourism and the importance and efforts exerted by the government and the Ministry of Tourism to support religious tourists.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be with you.
It's my utmost pleasure,
I wish Nile Cruise lovely time with everyone.
Thank you, and wishing you a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dear viewers, stay tuned. I'll be back again.